Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we are here with Jane. Hi Jane.
Hey Bob.
And if you might remember, Jane got this amazing teepee behind us, and you've been in it for 3 months.
Yes.
And we're going to get a 3-month review, and you've been through some really good weather and some really bad weather. And so we're going to get a really honest review. Is a teepee practical in the desert? I guess I should say the whole 3 months have been in the desert, and the wind and the rain. We do get rain. It's been a good test.
Yes.
It's the Mansfield SAFIR 7-person tent teepee, and it's extremely high quality. We'll look at more, but it's expensive because it's very high quality. It's expensive. This is a $2,200 teepee, and we'll find out, is it worth that much money? That's an awful lot of money. So, Jane, thank you for taking the time to test this for us.
Oh, my pleasure, Bob.
So, what do you think?
It's a thumbs up all the way. It has withstood wind, rain, very cold temperatures at night, and it's been very comfortable in there. It's been under 45-mile-an-hour winds, and none of the anchors ripped or tore even a little bit. It just held up beautifully.
So it's just passes with flying colors as far as you're concerned.
Absolutely.
So, but there's still a lot more questions. You're in a minivan.
I am.
And it doesn't pack down very small.
No, well, when you consider how big it is, it packs down pretty small, but it stands, once you pack it, it stands probably about 2.5 feet high, and, boy, I don't know the circumference, but probably about this big. I don't know if you can catch that. So it fits easily on the floor in the front of the minivan.
So carrying it around in the minivan hasn't been a problem?
No, all together it only weighs about 20 pounds, so very lightweight considering how much bulk is here.
Right, I think that's because it's cotton polyester. If it were just all cotton, it'd be very heavy, but the polyester reduces the weight and actually increases the strength. And so one of the things we wanted to see is, can this replace a bigger vehicle? And so you're in a minivan, and you can sleep comfortably in the minivan.
Yes.
Because it's pretty spacious. We're actually wondering if this would work for a car, and it would take up a lot of space in the car, but it would give you a great home for the most of the time.
Yes.
And so there have been days when you didn't sleep in it.
In the teepee, yes.
Yeah.
Where it was just too windy. So if I knew it was going to be over 25-mile-an-hour straight winds and then gusts up to 40, I didn't even bother putting it up. I know it could stand, so if you needed to empty out your car under those conditions, you still could and put it in the teepee, but I think there's just too much noise and too much going on in the teepee when the winds are that high to actually sleep in that.
So over the last 3 months, do you have an idea of a percentage that you've been in the teepee as opposed to in the minivan?
Yeah, I'd say I was in the teepee about between 85 and 90% of the time. So when I first got it, I think it was the third night was when, and we were in the quartzsite area when we had those 45-mile-an-hour gusts. Yeah, and really just the straight winds were 25, 27. And that was one of those times that I bailed and I went into the minivan, but it was during the day. I just sat in the driver's seat and watched it because I was afraid it was going to blow away. But it held firm. Not a single stake came up. None of the anchors ripped. I mean, and I thought, well, if it can withstand this, it can withstand just about anything the Southwest desert has to offer, I think.
So you, in the beginning, there was a little bit of fear. Is this going to stand? But that eliminated that.
I was so afraid I was going to ruin this very expensive teepee just by submitting it to those really harsh conditions, but it convinced me after that not to worry about the teepee.
Right, and so that's one of the things I've always said. If you're going to consider a tent, you have to have a vehicle that you're okay escaping to in really bad weather.
Yes.
And your minivan is perfect for that.
Yeah.
Because you could just live in the minivan.
I could.
Right.
Yeah.
But this gives you room to stand up. It gives you all the room in there.
It's very spacious. It's more spacious than the minivan can ever be. So that part is nice. I don't know about 7 people being in there,
no.
But for 1, it's very comfortable, and for 2, it's more than adequate.
Yeah, and so that would really make a big difference for a couple.
Yes.
that they could be in there, and then if they had to be, they can be in the minivan when the weather was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's April now, and so we're heading towards spring and summer. And my experience in the National Forest has been wind is just not an issue. This thing would be perfect all summer in the National Forest.
Yeah.
You would never worry about wind. You'd get rain, but it handled rain well.
It handled sheets of rain, just one time, but just sheets of rain coming down. And at one point it was coming straight at the door where all those seams are and zippers. And never had, I closed the top vents there, all sides open for ventilation. So I closed those up tight and not a drop of water came in.
So far, you would say 100% flying colors. Fantastic tent.
Yeah, I can't find a fault with it. I really can't.
Good.
And on the days when it gets a little hot, like today, I think we're in the mid 80s, it's cooler in the teepee than it is out here.
Wow, that surprises me.
Yeah, because you'd think, at least I thought it would be the same temperature. But if I have the door shut, I still have the vents along the bottom of the teepee open and a vent on top, but it's cooler in there.
Now, one issue might be that as a solo female, were you ever afraid in the tent, because it's soft, a bear could just rip through it or a bad guy could just cut through it,
Right.
as opposed to being in the minivan?
So all the places I've camped have either been with people that I've already met or people that I felt comfortable going over to them, you know, even if they were a quarter mile away, and saying, I just want you to know I'm camped over there and I'm on my own. I'm not going on any hikes or anything, and I have everything I need. I've got water, but I just want somebody to know I'm over there. And people have been so gracious. They're like, oh no, we got you covered. So I don't know, not that that's great protection in the case of, you know, a bear coming through the teepee or a bad person or something, but just having a person to check in with helped anchor me, so I never felt afraid.
Well, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
And you have said that you made a lot of friends out here.
Tremendous. Yes, I have 2 friends waiting for me right now when I leave here, going over into California, that said, as soon as you're done with Bob, head on over here, we're waiting for you. So,
right.
Yeah, so that's very nice. A great community. And I was lucky because I connected with a lot of experienced nomads that have been on, you know, this lifestyle for 3, 4, even 5 years. So I was even kind of the newbie. So very generous in helping me get grounded and get, you know, a solid foundation under me for this. So
you are going to return it now to us, and I'm going to give it to HOWA, Homes on Wheels Alliance, because why aren't you going to keep it?
Well, I would love to keep it, and Bob, you graciously offered it to me, but I think, you know, there's somebody else that it's going to make the difference of whether they can get on the road or not, and that's not my situation. I have the minivan, so as much as I would like it and I would enjoy it, I don't need it, and I think there's probably somebody out there that really needs it, and this is going to make the difference for them.
If you are new to the road and you're wondering, and you're in a car or even a minivan, and you really need something bigger, contact HOWA and ask them about getting the tent. We will release it to people to use to help you get on the roads. Contact HOWA at homesonwheelsalliance.org, and there go to the programs page, and they talk about tents that we give out as loaners. We have been giving out canvas tents, but I believe the teepee is far, far superior. You're going to get really far superior in most every way. So would it be okay if we go inside now and see how you've made your own little home in there?
Yes, you're welcome.
Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll go inside, folks.
So, welcome to my home.
It is very, very nice in here.
So one of the things I did is I upgraded. I was on just a Thermarest pad, and I upgraded because I knew I was going to be moving into the minivan to a trifold foam mattress.
Mm-hmm.
So it's much more cushy and much broader. What's nice about this is because it's so spacious, you can have a big mattress like that and still have plenty of room to move around. This is my clothes bag. So when I'm sleeping, I use that so the pillows don't fall off the edge. And then this is my CPAP. And then I have a Jackery to power it. So this is the Jackery 500. And for people that are wondering how much of the Jackery battery it takes to run a CPAP, when this is fully charged at 100%, because I do use the humidifier, so I add water to it, it goes through about half of the power. So you can get 2 nights on it without charging, but I charge mine every night, just to be sure.
And you're just charging while driving?
Or with a solar panel. I have a 120 solar panel. These are all my toiletries. Of course, the baby wipes. And then I use that Coffee Mate container to pee in. And then this is my hat. There isn't anything underneath it. I just took it off.
And do you have a dog that looks exactly like Cody?
Yeah,
or he
I think they're brothers. Yeah, Cody's making himself to home here, which is good. And then over here, this green box is just my kitchen, or my breakfast box. So my coffee is in there. My, I have one of those little jet boil things for making hot water quickly. I also have a 2-burner camp stove that's in the minivan right now, but everything I need for the morning is in there. And then that's just a REI fiberfill sleeping bag, because sometimes, I go to bed and I have enough blankets, but about 4 a.m. it gets cold. And you can kind of see how I vented it there. But like I said, you can vent it all the way up. So you just have the very top and everything else is open venting. This is the mosquito netting. And that over there is if you were to have a stove, a wood stove to heat with.
Right, there's a jack. And this is an enormous steel tent. I mean, the pole here. Yes. This is the only pole you have to just stand this on.
The only pole, and it's so lightweight. It's just aluminum. And so for setting it up, you just measure it out, you put in the stakes, and then you bring the pole in. And no, this sounds like it would be very heavy, but it's not. You just bring it in and you get it lodged in there correctly before you bring it in, and then you bring it in and you fit it up there, and it just holds. It's not going anywhere, even in high winds. Yeah.
Now let me real quickly compare this. I bought 2 tents. This one was extremely expensive, $2,200. And we also bought a $500 tent. The $500 tent is a total failure.
Yeah.
And one of the ways it was a total failure is it had a little cheap aluminum pole that bent within the first 2 weeks of use.
Oh.
And they don't replace it. You can't even order a new one and just pay cash for it. It doesn't exist.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it is crazy. You got a lot of room. You got a lot of standing room. You and I are both standing up here, no problem.
Yeah. Lots of room.
Lots of room above you. Yeah.
Yep. No problem.
Yeah. Very nice. Stand there, clean. Take your little mini showers in here and change clothes and bathe and whatever you do.
Right. All of that. And I do have my variation of a 5-gallon bucket that's still in the van. It's not in the teepee at the moment. But
right.
Yeah.
Because that's
plenty of room for that too.
Yeah. So it's great in here. It's worked really well for you. You think this is a great brand name?
I do. I'm impressed. Yeah.
High quality, lasts you a very long time.
Yeah.
I think it's because it's cotton polyester, which makes it more expensive, but much more durable. You've had no failures,
none.
Zippers, rips,
nothing,
pulls,
nothing. And I've the stakes that come with it. I used every time under every circumstance except for 2 times where I needed the long rebar stakes that you recommended, Bob, and so I have a set of those, and those will be with the teepee too. So twice at Saddle Mountain and Joshua Tree, where it was just so sandy, I couldn't get purchase with the stakes that they provided, but those rebar stakes, they go into anything and stay.
Well, thank you so much, Jane, for doing this grand experiment and reporting
Bob.
to us about it.
Yeah.
So, folks, there you go. This is an option. This TP is an option if you can afford it. If you can, pay the money up front and get 5, maybe 10 years of use out of it, then my goodness, it's a good investment. Let's just start with the car you have or minivan you have, give you a lot more comfort.
Yes.
So, thanks, Jane.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Folks, I'm sure you got something out of this video. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.